let's talk about Bo7, because I honestly think that it has been a very interesting. It's my game. Not gonna lie. There you go. But I think that it has been a very interesting couple of weeks for both Bo6 and COD, and so I kind of wanted to just give my ideas behind COD's current state, and then also my general thoughts behind Bo7 for it's definitely interesting to see how people are reacting to Bo7. And the fact that it's been mostly negative, it doesn't make me surprised, but it also makes me upset because of the fact that I don't think Bo7 personally is that bad of a looking game. Now, that's a bit... That could be, that could just be me thinking that, oh, it looks really good overall. Yes, sure. Cause it overall does, in my personal opinion, look very appealing. I generally really like how it looks. And being someone who likes a more, like, semi-futuristic FPS game, I personally think that it looks really cool. But even though I do find it very annoying, I do see the view that people have behind why they think that it is just bad. The fact that it is just not overall looks appealing to them, and they want a more grounded game, I mean, I can understand that. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's about time that COD steps back into that, or I guess steps forward actually, into the futuristic era again. Like the fact that it has been so long, like it's been 10 years since we've had a futuristic COD game, Infinite Warfare. I mean, like, that's just crazy to me. It's mind-blowing that it's really been 10 years. And it makes me both really happy and really worried for Bo7 in that case, knowing it's been that long. Because the fact that COD and the COD community both ain't really like used to this futuristic setting since it's been so long. It makes you wonder, like, how is the modern community going to take Bo7, which makes me both worried, both happy to experience like a bit of an unknown thing with COD, with having a modern COD game take place in the future. I think it's gonna be really fucking cool, honestly. But it also makes me interested in it. Interested in seeing how will it play out. Will people really enjoy it, and this is just the hate train of, oh, it's a new COD game, we gotta hate something about it, because that's just how every fucking new COD game is, apparently. Which, I love it, yay, I love this community. You gotta love the new COD community, and how it's just a bunch of bullshit. But, it's also, I also think that a lot of the complaints for the new COD coming out Bo7 does make sense. Like, I understand the hate that it's getting, but it's like at the same time I feel like it could be a lot better, and we should tone it down a bit. But that's just my personal opinion. And then as for like what we know of Bo7, what we know, at first it made me a bit worried because it it wasn't looking that appealing at first. I'll admit. Like the first I'll say like the first 3 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks of us knowing about Bo7 and then knowing more about it, it didn't seem that appealing, which made me worried. It made me scared that, oh, this is not actually going to be that good. This seems like it's going to be some modern COD bullshit. But with the recent little rumors and links going around about how things could potentially be, I think it's honestly looking very promising. Like, for example, they're potentially making the file size low, not a big file size, which is great. Finally, a COD game that's actually reasonable with its storage. Now, if that's true, I do not fully know. I think it is only a rumor, but it is a bit more of a likely rumor with the current state of COD, and then also with the fact that Microsoft does own COD. And until you wonder about why is Bo6 potentially, why is Bo6 such a bigger game though? Well, my little idea behind why Bo6 is such a big game when it comes to storage is because of the fact that I believe that they were in the developing process, that it was still, oh my god, but I believe that it was still being made under the impression of Sony and stuff, which caused the file sizes to be big. Now, is that true? I honestly do not know. It is just my little idea, so do not take what I just said literally. It is just my personal idea as to why Bo6's file size is such a big amount. It is, I think, anywhere between 170 to 200 gigabytes. Roughly that amount, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. And that is I think just on average. I think there have been people saying that it's even bigger for them, which is crazy to hear. Hold on, okay. Which is just crazy to hear. People saying that when you have all the shit downloaded for Bo6, right, or just for COD in general, that it is even more. It is potentially 400 gigabytes, I believe, or 300 gigabytes, and it's how the fuck did we get just games that are really small in their file sizes to once we got into BO4 era, that was when games were just huge in their file sizes, and it makes me just wonder what the fuck are they doing? Why are these? Is it such a big amount for this? It's just absolutely mind-blowing. But I think, honestly, if the file sizes are going back to being smaller, there was a link or a linked picture of the file sizes, I believe, saying that it's going to potentially be 25 gigabytes. I do not personally think that's going to be true. Although, I do think the idea of Bo7 being small when it comes to file sizes does actually make sense. The idea behind it is there. So, I think personally it's there. The idea of it is definitely there. It's just also a bit unbelievable at the same time, considering how modern games has been with file sizes. It has been kind of crazy to think about, honestly, with the games and their current file sizes of a modern time. But that's more of a topic for a different day, honestly. That's not what this video is about. When it comes to like the setting and how like people are saying, oh, it looks very unrealistic because of it being sci-fi, I think what people in that degree are not understanding is that it's meant to take place in a futuristic sci-fi world with this type of almost like the Matrix type of technology. And then what people are thinking of when they think of a futuristic COD game is games like BO2 or potentially BO3, you know. Or if you would want to go out there, you could even say like Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare, where they take place even further in the future than just the previous two COD games I just mentioned. And it's really interesting how it is. Like, it's interesting to see how people have responded to the current info that we have about what will be in the next COD game. And I think it's honestly really interesting, personally. So yeah, that's my kind of my take on it. I think it's very interesting. I think it's both good and bad of how the community is responding to it, because it's giving Treyarch a response that they are wanting to see. They want to see us have feedback, not necessarily complain, but have our own feedback towards it, so then they can try to give us a good experience, which is even how BO6 was at first. BO6 was also like that, where they tried to give us what we wanted, you know. They tried understanding us, which I think BO6 right now, that ain't really the case. But I mean, it's kind of just whatever, really. I think personally, though, if I just to lightly touch on the subject, I personally think that what ruined BO6 is just how modern games are. Modern games just honestly kind of ruined BO6, at least in my personal opinion. It's like, I feel like if BO6 came out, like, even like before the pandemic, or even like before, even like if BO6 was what Cold War was, you know, like I feel like it would have been a lot better of a game. It just would have aligned a lot better with COD currently. But having BO6 right now just kind of ruins it, because people are just kind of sick and tired of what COD has been giving us. And honestly, I really don't blame them, because even I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of it. I was once a little bit, I wasn't like a big defender on modern COD, but I was a little bit of a defender of it. I defended it because I thought it was cool seeing COD take a different direction compared to what COD used to be. You know, like, I thought it was cool. I thought it was good. But then it kind of went, but then they kind of took it a step further. And this another step further. And it just kind of got to the point where, like, man, can we, like, take a step back and honestly go back to how COD used to be? Like, can we ground it back a little bit? Which I really hope they do that with BO7 in a way, but also making it have a really cool new appeal to COD. Because honestly, with all the new features of of BO7, it honestly seems really good. Like making like shooting while sliding and tack sprint a perk, I honestly really don't mind. I think if anything, that's honestly really good. Like really, really good. Really does it really helps COD move forward in my personal opinion, the right direction. And now when it comes to COD's more goofy stuff, I personally think that you are loud as fuck. You know, I like. Okay, a little bit better. But when it comes to COD's goofy stuff, I personally think that it has gotten too much with BO6, especially nearing like the middle part of BO6 with all the collabs and shit. Like it definitely it is definitely taken a toll. Like I personally do not like it anymore. I really want to see a lot less goofy stuff in it. Like I don't mind goofy skins once in a while. Like if there was like 2 per season, like 2 goofy bundles or whatever they want to do with like skin wise. And it's like, oh, okay, one at the beginning of a season and then 1 mid-season. You know, like I wouldn't mind that. I would personally think that's fine because like, it gives the wider community what they want, a more milsim grounded FPS game that actually looks good, and it also gives the goofy side a little bit of some fun stuff to mess around with. You know, like 2 goofy skins per season. So like since every COD game has like what 6 seasons. If we has 6 seasons, then that would mean that there's like 12 goofy skins in the game. I personally think that that'd be fine. And they can even throw in some extra ones if they really want to. But like keep them at like a minimum for goofiness. Like make them like be like how Klaus is. Like Klaus is already a goofy character, so it makes sense for him to have like, a bunch of goofy skins. So like if they're to do something like how Klaus is, then yeah, that I honestly wouldn't mind. Because Klaus is just goofy as fuck. But when it comes down to like overall though goofiness, it's too much. Please tone it down. And I really do mean it because it has gotten to the point where I don't even feel like I am in a COD game myself at this rate. This doesn't feel anything like COD. But at this point, I don't know what this is, but it ain't COD. It ain't COD, I can tell you that for sure. Oh shit. But and then when it comes to the overall, like, what I would like for BO7, I personally would love them to keep going with how they are currently with like BO7 wise. Like keep giving us what we want, keep doing like the semi-live feedback. You know, I think this is honestly a really good way to approach BO7. Like a really good way, honestly. I think it personally really does help them. But I didn't talk shit from the box. But when it comes down just to overall though, I personally think BO7 will do good. It just needs time to do good. And like until we actually get some real like when the game comes out, of course, that will be when like I will give like a more confirmed answer on do I hate BO7 or not. Like, is Bo7? Do I think Bo7 is worth it? Especially compared to a game like Bo2, for example, like what's actually based off of. And I've been seeing a lot of people actually saying that they should just remaster Bo2. I personally think that they shouldn't. Like, they can remaster it, yes, but like, don't make it take up a whole COD game. You know, like, don't do that. That, in my personal opinion, would be very bad, and I would not like that. But I do think that Bo7 will be a very interesting COD game, and I am very excited to honestly play it. It looks, in my personal opinion, very appealing. And as well, it's like, overall, I think Bo7 will not do bad at all when it comes to sales. So, people saying that it is going to flop in sales, I think are very wrong in that regard. Where the fuck did the zombie go? What the fuck? What are you doing? Anyway, but I personally don't think it's gonna flop. If anything, I think it will succeed. Where Bo6 failed. And honestly, with that honestly kind of out of the way, I'm gonna go now. But I hope you like my little rant behind what I think of Bo7. If you did, please like, subscribe, and I will definitely do maybe one more rant on Bo7 before the game comes out. Maybe a small one. I don't know. But I will for sure do a little rant of Bo7 after it comes out for sure. Like, after the game's out. So, that being said, hope you all had a good day. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And yeah, that's all. Bye.